Yo, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the Fortnite faction channel. Today we're going to be going over 7 reasons you still aren't winning your games in Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, I've compiled a list of the most common mistakes that not only new players but seasoned players as well make. These are some crazy mistakes that you probably haven't heard of. You know, some of these you may, they may come to mind, but I guarantee that you will learn something new in this video. So make sure to watch to the end to become a better Fortnite player. And real quick, of course, we got to get through our question of the day. The question of the day today is, how long does it take to use a med kit? Once you get the answer, make sure to like the video and then comment down below what the answer is. And don't be really sneaky and go down there and check the comment section before just to look for the answer. I know you guys do that. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Number 7, not practicing in Playground. So we got this amazing new tool on Fortnite where you can scrimmage your friends, do 2v2s, whatever you want to do. And that is called Playground. Guys, you got to get somebody and go practice in Playground. I mean, you can get better just playing the game, obviously, but doing this will help you so much faster. You can set up build battles, whatever you need to do, learn new strategies. Everything is so much better on Playground just because you can just make it so consistent, practice it a ton of times. There is a reason that pros go onto Fortnite in Playground mode for about an hour every time before they play, like an important match or anything like that. They go on there and practice, guys. Practice makes perfect, as the old saying goes. So make sure to do that and don't skimp out on the Playground practicing. Number 6, you're making poor decisions. So I think that we can all agree that we've all been guilty of this at one point. Poor decisions leads to very poor gameplay. There's some very vital decisions that you need to make during the game that can really improve not only how you play, but your win-loss ratio as well. I promise you, once you get this mastered down, this will significantly improve your game. Even if you aren't very good at the mechanics such as, aiming or building, this can help a lot. So poor decisions, what I mean by this is, you might not be going for the high ground. You may be camping in the bush when you don't need to. Little stuff like this, if you can make the right decisions, when to push an enemy, when to not, when to third party, or when to turtle up. All of these decisions you need to be making. If half the circle is on a mountain and half of it isn't, try and get on top of the mountain. Then you'll have the high ground and it'll be much harder for the enemy to win that game. Little decisions like this can lead to a lot of victory royales. Number 5, poor building. So this is kind of a runoff off of number 7, but building is pretty well essential nowadays. Fortnite, you cannot get away with not building into this game anymore. Maybe back in season 1 or season 2, you may have been able to, just because not too many people, mastered the building mechanic. But nowadays, pretty well everybody has mastered this technique. You gotta be able to build in this game in 2018. There's just no way around it. You just have to have that skill. So like I said, this does run off number 7. Go into Playground and just kind of practice your building. Go into build battles, learn the building. You wonder why all these defaults are always losing their games. They just don't build. They're not very fast at it. Once you get this down, you will be significantly better.
Oh, GG.
Number 4, organized loadout. All right, so countless times I see people, you know, streaming, whether they're a small streamer or even sometimes even bigger streamers that just don't know how to play the game. They do not organize their loadout, you know. They don't put the bandages and the med kits and all the meds and stuff to the right of their loadout, and then, you know, weapons to their keybinds and whatnot left, and they don't do anything like that. They literally just pick the stuff up and then just roll with it, whether there be a bandage in the middle of two weapons or not, you know. I mean, some players play like that, you know, that's fine, but for the majority of people, you're gonna want to learn how to organize your loadout, you know, drag different weapons. You know, if you have a sniper, say you're more comfortable with it being in the third slot, you know, maybe if you had a submachine gun, you put that in the first slot, as well as like a pump or a shotgun in the second slot. You know, things like this can massively help you. You know, you'll be organized, you know what to switch to, exactly when you're switching to something, and that's just how it be. You know, you got to get this down, plain and simple. That's just it. Number 3, positioning. So positioning is absolutely huge in this game. You know, whether you're wanting to build a 1x1 and get to the high ground, of course, you want the high ground. But some people actually prefer the low ground. You know, Myth, he actually went over why low ground, you know, it doesn't matter if you have low ground. And I'll play that clip right here.
Reverse is at 6, and he gets him. But here's Reverse. He's playing for the low. He knows he needs to do it, and it's Vivid on the low. Will it work out in Vivid's favor?
Unbelievable mid.
Here we
Final
go,
2.
Reverse, Vivid. They are right next to each other, touching noses, and Vivid takes the victory royale.
Unbelievable mid. You called it out. Vivid the entire time playing lower to the ground, and it comes up huge for him.
But I personally just like having the high ground just because it's so much easier to, you know, land those headshots. You know, you're the one that can see in third person peek and everything like that. You'll be set up in a much better position. You know, everybody has their preferences, but I feel like we can all agree that the majority of people like to have the high ground. So yeah, seek the high ground. You guys can win so many more gunfights this way, and it will just help a lot overall. Number 2, you have no keybinds. All right, so no keybinds is one of the most rookie mistakes you can make. Keybinds are absolutely essential to this game nowadays, whether it be on console and you need to put on Builder Pro. Make sure to turn that on, and definitely if you're on PC, make sure to keybind, you know, your builds, your weapons, everything like that. You have to have keybinded. You know, if you have buttons on your mouse, I find that more comfortable for my weapon, and then, you know, Q, C, and X for my stair walls and whatnot. That's just my personal preference. Some people still go with 1, 2, 3, 4 for the weapons. You know, that's fine, whatever you prefer, but you need to have those binded. You can't be scrolling through your scroll wheel, hitting Q, and then switching over to building. It just doesn't work like that anymore. You know, you have to have this stuff down and keybinded to your personal preference.
This button is my push to talk / my push to mute for Discord. These 2 buttons, right above it, right here, boom, this one and this one. Which one? This one's my ramp. This one's my wall. Ramp, wall, ramp, wall, ramp, wall. And then the mouse wheel, I click the mouse wheel, not down, I click it, I side click it to the left. That's my platform. And those are all my mouse keybinds.
WASD, spacebar, shift for sprint, caps lock auto run, crouch, left control, change my crouch key, forgot to mention that. That's huge. Changing my use to F from E. My wall stay to C. My floor I changed from F to E. My stairs I changed from V to Q. My roof, my trap, the same. Rotate building, the same. Repair, upgrade, that should be bound to that. That's what it has been. And then another big change. Let's see. At the bottom right here, building edit, I changed it from left alt to V. That's a lot of binds, boys. Woo!
Now for the last one, number 1, we're going to be talking about not watching professional players play the game. Essentially not watching Twitch streams. Guys, you need to be watching these guys. I know, you know, you may have a big ego. You may say, oh, you know, I don't need to watch anybody because I'm just the best. Well, you wouldn't be watching this video. Guys, you need to be watching these streams. Some of these players like Tfue and Cloak, you know, these guys have taught me so much just by me watching their streams. You know, whether they go into Playground and then they show you a new technique, or even Hamlin showing that not so new anymore pyramid trap.
Guess what I do, Jay? What am I gonna do? Bop! Where you going? My high ground now. Ha 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 ha.
just stuff like that. That can really improve your gameplay. Guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a fat like and subscribe if you are new. We're on that road to 4,000 subs, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. I have a ton of Fortnite content coming out every single week. I'm aiming for 5 uploads a week. I don't know if I can do it because school's in the way kind of right now, but we'll definitely try and get there. And real quick, now I'm going to show you guys a ton of Fortnite clips that just, you know, it really teaches you something. It teaches you how to be better at the game in general. And I'm just going to roll these through real quick so that you can get the best out of them.
I've seen EU people doing this, and I also saw a YouTuber called Beaks who talked about this. But basically, it's going to reduce the time it takes to, usually people obviously grab here and they go across. That's the traditional way of doing it. So if it's here and you want to rotate it to the side, usually you'd go like that. Easier if you want to rotate it to the side, instead to just grab it where, you know, you normally would grab it. Instead, bring it to one of the middle pieces, and that's one of these two pieces. Bring it to one of the corners. I like to bring it closer to me. It just seems easier. And then confirm the edit. And basically, you can just do this a lot quicker. So that's pretty self